In today's episode, we're talking about what is stopping you from manifesting your wealth. Let's find out. Welcome. This is Gul Khan, your money mindset expert. And today we're talking about why you are not manifesting the kind of wealth that you desire. We haven't done one of these purely manifestation episodes for a while now. And so I thought it's great to have that refresher, and maybe I can talk about it from a different perspective. So this is why I've thought we need to unpack this, because I get this reasoning quite a lot, or this excuse quite a lot, like I really don't believe in all of this, and I don't really believe you can create your own destiny, and I've tried law of attraction before and it doesn't exist, or it doesn't work, and etc. There's many stories behind it. And what I tell these people, the law of attraction is there, exists like the law of gravity. Whether you believe in it or not, it doesn't really make a difference. And it's actually in your benefit to learn the laws of manifestation, to learn the laws of the law of vibration, so that you can align your energy in a way that you can actually benefit from it. So instead of manifesting ad hoc ways and bringing into your reality whatever is by default, you can put intention behind what actually shows up in your 3D world. So this is the reason why this episode was, I thought it's a time to do a refresher one, and we're doing one. Now, I just want to give you a bit heads up again. I'm currently going through COVID, so we had a bit of a gap recently in the episodes because I've been so sick that we haven't been able to record any. And I'm still a bit breathless because of it. COVID hit me like a like a storm. So bear with me, and I may speak slower. So you may think, oh, why is Gul speaking slowly? It's because COVID only allows me to speak a certain speed at the moment, which still may be fast for some of you. All right. With that said and done, I want you to understand where you are at the moment. And I think before we can talk about manifestation, I think we need to talk about where you are internally in your thoughts and ideas. So let's take a step back. How do you create anything? How is your reality created? Well, your reality is created with your thoughts, ideas, your viewpoints, your justifications, your paradigms, and so forth. So your paradigms are beliefs that you don't even question. They're just that's how things are. You don't even question your paradigms. Okay, so they heavily influence what comes into your 3D world. So your reality is formed because of your thoughts and ideas. And whatever is showing up for you this moment in time today is the result of what you thought about the day before, or a few days before, most likely a few weeks before. There is a delay in when you start thinking about something and for it to show up in your 3D world. There is a slight delay. The delay, or how quickly it shows up for you, depends on the emotional charge. So if you're really, really heavily emotionally charged about something happening, it will happen a lot faster compared to something you're not as emotionally involved in. So that's something else to keep in mind. So I want you to understand, so whatever is showing up for you in your physical 3D world is actually what you thought about in the past. So actually your past is creating your present. Let's sort of understand that point first. So your thoughts and ideas from today are not creating your present. Your present external reality is being created by your previous thoughts and ideas. So essentially, you're living whatever in your in the physical 3D world was showing up for you, and what you're living through at the moment is whatever you believed and believed to be real, and whatever you gave energy to in the past. Okay, so your past is actually creating your present day right now. Now, this can be, when you first get to grips with this idea, it can be a little frightening, because you think, oh my gosh, what have I created? You have to take personal responsibility for everything showing up in your life. If you fail to take personal responsibility, which means you're blaming your mother, your father, your uncle, your husband, your wife, or your children, or something else, or your boss, for things that are showing up in your physical world, you have not got the maturity to be able to hold intentional thoughts and to be able to create your reality from the unknown future. Okay, so I want you to understand this. The very first step into creating your reality that you desire is taking personal responsibility for everything showing up. That's step number one. Step number two is understanding that whatever's showing up for you at the moment is not your current thoughts and ideas, it's your previous thoughts and ideas. So for example, if you have started looking into law of attraction, you start thinking about all of this, whatever's going to show up for you is what you thought about before, right? It's going to take time between your current thoughts and ideas and what shows up for you in a few weeks' time. So now, the beauty of this is you can take your focus and put it into the future and start creating from the future rather than from the past. Okay, let me sort of break it down even further. Your past is currently creating your reality. If you want to change your reality, you have to start thinking different thoughts. And these thoughts are something that where you put your focus on in the future. So if we take a tangent roll, I want you to understand this. And this probably, when this YouTube video comes out, it might be easier for you to understand because of my expressions and the way I'm explaining. So if you understand this, your past, your present, and your future all are happening simultaneously. There is no linear time. There is no past, present, future. All three realities, past, present, and future, happen simultaneously. This is what quantum physics teaches us. This is what happens in the quantum field. What you're consciously experiencing is the present moment. Okay? And your present moment is made up of, or your reality in your present moment is made up of what you were thinking in the past. Most people, the reason why they fail to manifest the kind of wealth they want, as soon as they read the book The Secret or saw the movie The Secret, they thought, oh wow, I can make whatever I want and I can have a genie in a bottle and ask for $1 million. Yes, that's true. But in order for you to have the $1 million, you have to start thinking differently. You have to behaving differently. Most people want to make that $1 million, but will not think differently. So when they get up, they associate with the past, okay? So they look at the current reality. They see with the amount of money in the bank account. They see the bills are piling up. They say that the same relationship. They still have the same health issues. They have the same life that existed yesterday. So they connect with what is happening currently in the external world. So they are living from the outside in. So when you do that, you are putting all your focus on what happened in the past. Keep in mind, your current reality is your past thoughts and ideas. So when you look at your current situation, when you're looking at the bills and the lack of funds or the business going down or whatever negatively showing up for you, if you focus on that, you are living from the past. And if that's where you're putting your energy, guess what's going to show up tomorrow? The exact same thing. So what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and having an idea of different expectations. So you do the same thing, but you expect a different outcome. That's not going to happen. Okay, that's insanity. However, if you understand this concept that whatever's happening in today is because of your previous thoughts and ideas, and when you wake up in the morning and you connect to who you are in your external reality, and you look at all the bills and you think of all the emails you have to respond to, and you look at your spouse who's bugging you, or your children, or your health, or whatever else is bugging you, you are now trapped in your past. Does that make sense? Right? So you are now trapped in your past, and because you've put in all your energy into what's happening externally, which means you're putting your energy into the past, more of that past is going to show up for you the day after, and the day after, and the day after. Okay? Now, what all these gurus and what I'm telling you to do is, if you stop for a moment and accept that whatever's showing up for you in your 3D world is actually the past, your previous thoughts and ideas, you can put a break in what's happening for you and say, okay, so if I pull my energy away from what's happening for me externally, if I stop feeling anxious and sad and annoyed and upset about what's happening in my external reality, take a step back and realize, okay, that's actually my past that's happening. It's almost like when it's like you're watching a movie of your life, and what's showing up for you in your physical 3D world is what's happened in the past. You're like ahead and you're watching, you look back in your life and that's what's happening. Your life is actually catching up to your thoughts and ideas. So your thoughts and ideas are here, and this is your life. And whatever you're thinking, your life is following suit. What you need to do is recognize that, okay, that your current reality is your past thoughts and ideas, and you intentionally think, okay, so if my previous thoughts and ideas have created this reality, let me change the way I think. Now, when you change the way you think, you put your energy and mind into the future, into your true desires, and then that's where your energy goes. So what will happen? So today, even though today your reality is your previous thoughts and ideas, what's going to happen tomorrow, the day after, or in a few weeks' time, your reality has to shift with your thoughts. So if your thoughts are in the future, when your today becomes 2 weeks' time or 3 weeks' time, it's now going to be based on the thoughts and ideas that you did 3-4 weeks ago, but this time, 3-4 weeks ago, you were thinking about your future. So you're putting your energy into the future. Does that make sense? So you're creating now from the unknown future rather than familiar past. This is the term that I came across from Joe Dispenza, and I love Dr. Joe Dispenza. And he talks about this quite a lot, that when you're trapped in current reality, the thing is, most people want to create a different future, but are still stuck in the familiar past. And they keep manifesting the familiar past, and they don't free themselves up from it to create their new reality from the unknown future. Most people are afraid of the unknown future. You don't know what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, and what's going to happen. And therefore, you stick to your familiar past, and therefore you stick in your current reality. Does that make sense? So this is what's been going on. Now, think about it this way. The reason why you are stuck in the familiar past is because of your traumas. So I love Joe Dispenza. I absolutely love him. The thing is, here's his situation. Through meditations and all of the work that he talks about, it works. People, it absolutely works. I'm not denying it. The only issue I have is it's slow. It takes time. So it takes time to disconnect from your familiar past. It takes time to connect with your future self, and it takes time to manifest from the unknown future, because you cannot manifest from the unknown future until you let go of the familiar past. Right? Now, this is where energy clearings come in. And this is why I'm so excited about the work that I do with my clients. If you can clear your emotional traumas, and listen to me, by the way, guys, if you're watching me on YouTube or if you're listening to me on the podcast, pay a lot of attention. The next few minutes may transform your entire life. Okay, I'm that certain about it. So listen to me. If the reason why we keep creating from a familiar past is not just because we're familiar with our past, it's because we're emotionally connected to our past. Our past traumas keep us hostage in our past. So, for example, your boyfriend cheated on you, your mother left you, your father misbehaved with you, your brother beat you up, and I don't know, whatever traumas you have, financial traumas, verbal, emotional traumas, sexual traumas, financial ruins, whatever, your bankruptcy, whatever. Your past emotional traumas keep you stuck in your past. Now, it doesn't matter what intentions you have and how good you are and how diligent you are with your meditations, you are going to take a long time to disconnect from the familiar past and start connecting with the unknown future. This is this case, and this is why Dr. Joe talks about being consistent with it and doing. Some people have got amazing results, but it's taken them months and sometimes even years to get those kind of results. Now, what I'm asking you to do is quantum leap your results. And how do you do that? You first disconnect from the emotions of the past. This is why when people come into my mastermind, we work on this. And the reason why my clearings work and the reason why my clients get the crazy ass results that they do is for this reason. Okay. Of course, we do the manifestation roadmap and we do manifest on a daily basis. But that's a small part. We do that and we connect through various methodologies that I give to them. One of them being the mirror exercise, which is my favorite one. But that's those are the manifestation tools. But simultaneous to that, we do energy clearings on a weekly basis. And actually, some of them I get people to do. Some of them people do on a daily basis. Some of them are too powerful, so I don't allow them to do it on a daily basis. I get them to do it on alternative days. But the idea is, every single day you're using some kind of energy tool to disconnect from your emotional past. Now, when you are fully disconnected from your emotions or the traumas of the past, you're now a blank slate, right? So you're now a blank slate. So now your past isn't pulling you back into the past. Your traumas are not holding you hostage. You're now able to take your focus, fully focus into the future and create from the unknown future. So then you can think about the $1 million. You can think of that ideal spouse. You can think of the child. You can think of that career choice. You can think of that business and connect with it a lot faster and bring it into your reality. Universe doesn't care whether you want out 5,000, 500,000, or 5 million, or 5 billion, or 5 trillion. It really doesn't care. It connects with your desires and how you emotionally feel about it. But if you are emotionally connected to the past, the traumas keep you small. The traumas keep yourself limited. The traumas stop you from believing that this new idea is possible for you. And until you accept and internalize the idea that I am worthy and I can make $1 million a month, or $1 million a day, or $1 billion, or have that ideal relationship, or have that child, you're not going to be able to create it. Simple as that. So when intentional living is, first thing is you have to believe that's possible for you, and then take certain actions to bring it into your reality. But your past will keep you hostage. This is why it's so important. If you are doing this work and you're not seeing the results, then I implore you, go and look at your past emotional traumas. I was speaking to someone today. I think it was a podcast interview, I can't remember. And I remember talking to her about this as well, that the reason why in the past she went through 9/11, and in 9/11 gave her such severe trauma that it impacted her money. And I explained to her why, and you can listen to the podcast episode so you can hear that conversation then. So I'm not going to go into it right now. But I explained to her why something like 9/11 can impact her money, because it's a trauma, it's emotional trauma. And our money shows up for us in the way that we expect it to. And so if we have emotional traumas in our past, that's going to impact our finances, for God's sake. Absolutely, right? So this is why it's so important. If you're doing Joe Dispenza's meditation, and they're fabulous, by the way, they're amazing. I love the man. Honestly, he's so amazing. If you're not getting the kind of results from his meditations, then the problem is not with his meditations. The problem is not with his technique. The problem is you are still held hostage to your past. You're still bonded to your past. So you have to let go of your past traumas and allow yourself the freedom to be in the present moment. And when you're in the present moment, you can connect to the unknown future and really bring that unknown future into personal reality. Does that make sense? So if your wealth is not showing up for you, and you've been doing this work for 10 years, and I have people who've been doing personal development for 10 years, 20 years, and they're still not there financially where they want to be, it amazes me how little they've understood about themselves. And they understand they have these emotional traumas, but they think that's something they can work with therapy, or they can do hypnotherapy. And there's a person that I hear quite a lot. I'm not going to say the name because she's quite famous, and they say, well, we can do this technique in hypnotherapy, and we do this and this and this, and obviously she's amazing. Of course, these techniques are amazing. My issue with them is none of those techniques, from my experience, I could be wrong, by the way, so I could be absolutely wrong, they don't go deep enough with traumas, especially when it comes to money. And you really need to get to the root cause of those traumas and clear them for once and for all. And then once you have cleared the trauma, that memory becomes, as Joe Dispenza says, it becomes wisdom. So a memory without emotional attachment, without emotional charge, becomes wisdom, right? It's a memory that becomes wisdom. Until you have the emotional charge, it's emotional trauma. But once you take away the emotional trauma, once you take away the emotional charge, it becomes wisdom. You learn from the experience, as I have for my ex. Okay, so this is why you need to see where you are blocked and how you're blocked. I call these emotional traumas your money blocks. They really are your money blocks. Once you clear them, and it's not enough for you to be aware of them. Being aware of them is first step. Absolutely, that's a great step to take. fantastic that you're aware of them, but then you have to clear them. And a lot of people come to me, they're like, yeah, I'll do this, and then I'll think of this, and I'll think of that. And I look at them and think, okay, fair enough. What I've started doing in my practice is I say, if someone comes to me and doesn't think that I'm the only coach for them, I don't work with them anymore. If someone says, well, I'm thinking of doing this option, I'm thinking of that option, I say, okay, go ahead and take that option. If you are saying that somebody else can help you rather than me, then absolutely go ahead with it. There is no competition. There's no element of competition. Go ahead and work with that particular coach, whoever it is. Because I know the person, when somebody comes to work with me, you have to be prepared to be put through the trenches, to be able to go through the river of change. And that river of change is painful. You're not going to go through that river of change unless you believe me, unless you understand that I'm doing this for your goodness. And then you put your trust in me and yourself, and you're ready to go through the river of change. And as long as you have other options, like, well, it doesn't work with Google, I can go to somebody else, you're not going to go through that river of change. And therefore, I can't get you the result that I would desire. This is why I'm very selective in terms of the people I work with. This coaching is a passion project for me. My money comes from other businesses, but I love coaching, and this is why I do it. So this is my gift to you, either through YouTube or through the podcast episode. I want you to understand you can create whatever you desire. There is no limitations to what you want or what you desire, and there's nothing wrong with it. You want a mansion, you want a jet, you want a yacht, you want a Bentley, whatever you desire, there's nothing wrong with it. You want to go and feed 1 million children, that's great. You want to go skiing and jump off Mount Everest, go for it. Whatever you desire, you can create in your life. It can be your own, your own canvas. You can create whatever you want on your life, but you have to clear it. So using that metaphor, in order for you to create a new life on the canvas of your life, you have to first wipe it clean. So you have to clean all the emotional traumas that are already on there. Imagine you have this massive canvas, which you can create all these magical paintings and stories on, but it's loaded with lots of paint and lots of blacks and grays and yucky greens and purples and all of that going on. And there's no room for you to create anything. Now, if you go ahead and clean that canvas so if you mention those things are emotional traumas, you go and clean all of that. You have a blank canvas now. Now you can create whatever. You can create beautiful pictures, you can create portraits, you can create landscapes, whatever you desire. But this is important, and this is what's missing from you. So if you're manifesting, you've been trying to do manifestation for a long time and it's not working, I'm telling you, this is a missing link, and this is what you need to work on. As soon as you do, I remember this one example of this one client who came to me. He'd been doing Joe Dispenza's work for past 10 years, and he was an avid follower and he loved him. He's a big fan like I am. By the way, I'm a huge fan of Dr. Joe Dispenza. I love everything he does. And he came to me and he said, look, I don't know why everything else seems to be working, but money doesn't. And within 1 month, I'm not kidding you, within 1 month, his life turned around. And when he graduated, he made 500,000 euros. So he made, and this was done within 12 months. It was just crazy. That's his target. And now he's working on a million euros. But he'd been following the meditations for a while. There was nothing wrong with the meditations, but there were certain blocks that he hadn't cleared, and they were holding him hostage. As soon as he cleared them with my energy clearings, his meditations just went through the roof, and his results skyrocketed. That's what happened. So I'm not a magician. I'm not something who's amazing. I always say this. I'm just a catalyst. Reason why people come to me and get such crazy results is because my energy acts as a catalyst. And as a catalyst, I'm able to help you clear your past emotion traumas. And once that's happened, you're able to create your future from a blank canvas. And that's when all the right manifestation tools and the meditations work. And that's when you get phenomenal results. So I hope you got value from today's episode. I really wanted to make you understand that have some compassion for yourself. If you've been meditating for a long time and you're still not getting the kind of results that you want, you need to focus on what's holding you back. And more likely than not, it's your emotional traumas from the past, not your inability to create your ideal future. So it's been a pleasure talking to you. I will be back with another episode another time. Until the next time we meet, this is Gul Khan signing off. Take care and bye for now.